In today's video, is going below 10% body fat a good idea? Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and before you ask, yes, I am covered by The Rock. But guess what? His birthday was Saturday, and just wanted to celebrate. Actually had a bottle of Terramana tequila as well. And so today's video I thought better represent a little bit of Rock Nation. So the question for today's video is it worth going below 10% body fat? And I want to read the question to you exactly so we can get a little bit into the mindset. And if you like this type of content around getting shredded, adding muscle, and using an evidence-based approach to do so, hit subscribe. It's what I love to do here. And today's question comes from right here on my Instagram direct message. Now, if you go to my Instagram and you're interested in entering our 90-day transformation challenge, well, the entries end this Sunday at midnight. So you've still got a few days. And in fact, if you go today to my Instagram and leave a comment and follow the instructions, you can get a free entry. It's $50 to enter the transformation challenge. And yeah, we're gonna do 90 days. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna document my food, my training. If you sign up, you actually get a training program for the gym and for your home. You get a meal plan based on your caloric needs, and you get the support of a private Facebook group if you want to. You're not required to do that. The only thing you're required to do is submit some pictures and your weight and just kick some ass for 90 days if you smell what Paul is cooking. So let me read today's questions and let's get started. I'm currently cutting, started 3 weeks ago, and all is going fine. I got down from 167 to 150 pounds, mostly water I assume, since I had been on a cheat month where I was eating so many carbs. So my plan to get shredded is going to be 2 to 3.5 months since I'm 16 to 18% body fat. My question is if you can make a video on whether we should try to go beyond 10%, which is my initial goal, and whether we should do like a peak week and do keto to get rid of water and then fill up with carbs. So and there's really a lot to unpack here. I think you have kind of some gaps in your understanding of how things work when it comes to getting lean. You don't need to restrict carbs to get lean to the point where you're doing a ketogenic diet. In fact, a ketogenic diet is not where you restrict carbs, it's where you prioritize fats so that your body actually goes into ketosis. So if you lost 17 pounds in 3 weeks, that's amazing. If you did it by completely removing carbohydrates from your diet, the fact is you basically shrank your muscles, okay? Because muscle glycogen, which stores water in your muscles for fuel, does contain a lot of weight, but also creates a lot of muscle fullness. So I'm not exactly sure where to go with this video because I feel like you have some gaps in your knowledge for, how muscle glycogen works, how a ketogenic diet works. But what I want to focus on is the 10% body fat question, because that, to me, is probably a very valid question, because as someone who has been well below 10% body fat many times in my life, I can tell you that the farther you get from 10% to 0%, the closer you get to 5, 4, whatever percent body fat, the more you begin to suffer, especially as a natural athlete. Now, I'm a lifetime drug-free, steroid-free bodybuilder. Okay, so I've never enhanced with hormones. And in my opinion, getting too lean, this is where you start to have a real negative impact. You actually negatively impact your hormone production. But to me, that's part of the love and the value and the challenge is going through that barrier despite not feeling your best. Getting up on a bodybuilding stage, especially a natural bodybuilding stage, you're challenging yourself in a way that very few people do, and that's just something that I enjoy. Now, if you're going to use something like hormone replacement to help you get lean, I think that going below 10% would probably be a lot more effective. And in fact, maintaining a leaner body fat, because even though your body's not producing the hormones that you need, the sex hormones that you need to produce things like testosterone, well, you're actually just injecting them. You're making it a part of your daily routine. And some people are medically required to take testosterone, and I've seen great things from people that are taking testosterone just as general health and well-being. They feel better, their mood is better. But if you're healthy like me and you don't need to take a testosterone supplement and you go below 10% body fat, you are going to notice your levels are suppressed. But it's only temporary, and it's because you have less body fat, okay? So your body basically just signals, hey, we have less body fat going on. You're nutritionally taking in less total fat in most cases. And so there is going to be an impairment of sex hormones. So I think you're actually onto something here. I do not think for the general population it's worth going much below 10% body fat. Now, the 10% body fat is a nice number to say, but what does it actually look like? What test are you doing? Are you doing electrical impedance? Are you going and getting hydrostatic testing? Are you doing ultrasound? Are you on a DEXA? There can be a huge variation in body fat percentages based on that. And so what I typically do with a client that I'm working with is I go, hey, what is your vision? What do you think 10% body fat looks like? Because you could tell somebody they're 10% body fat, but if they don't look the way they want to look, they're going to want to get leaner, right? And I think what a lot of us think is, so I'll put some pictures here of me in videos of me, at or below 10% body fat. And sometimes you look at that and think that's what I want. But once you realize the journey to get there, it's not so easy. You don't really get to enjoy things like you used to. You have to be very particular with your diet, your sleep, your training. And that's why a bodybuilding competition is so valuable for reaching those goals, because typically most people are not going to push through where they don't feel good. They have to maybe skip some social occasions. They have to say no to a few drinks. That doesn't sound appealing unless you have a very powerful goal. The most important aspect of getting shredded is having a very powerful goal, because many people say, I'd really like to get shredded. Just like a lot of people say, I'd really like to be rich. But when you find out how much work it takes to do both of those things, you tend to back off and enjoy life a little bit more, because that is really the most difficult interruption, is that you're interrupting your enjoyment, you're interrupting your social situations. Now, I do think there is a valuable lesson to be learned if you do go through these barriers. You could probably find out where you can get to and maintain and feel good. There are some people that are able to maintain 10% or less. Some people carry a little bit more lean body mass. Some people are more genetically gifted. And if you don't ever take the steps to find out, by training hard consistently, by tracking your diet, by eating well, then you might not ever figure out that, you are capable of some pretty amazing things. You just doubted yourself for a very long time. So this is why I love helping people through this journey. You really learn a lot about yourself. I learned so much about myself and pushing through barriers and plateaus and saying no to things and learning all about time management. When I talk about my journey to the bodybuilding stage in 2008, the thing that I learned most from that was just how much I am capable of. I stopped second guessing myself. So I think it's valuable to go through that journey to 10% body fat and beyond for those reasons. I don't think many people are going to be able to maintain that as a daily look and a daily lifestyle unless they have a very powerful goal kind of holding them, maintaining. That doesn't mean it's not possible. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It doesn't mean that many people don't do it. What I'm saying is, for most people, much below 10% body fat, you're going to have inhibitions on strength. You're going to have inhibitions on sleep. And it's going to just come down to what your goals are. Why do you want to stay that lean? Is it to stay photo shoot ready? Is it to make money on the internet selling programs? Is it to be an Instagram model? That might be powerful enough for you to stay lean year round. But if it's just to look good, to go to the beach to meet a girl, what happens when you meet the girl and she asks you to go out for a drink? Sorry, I can't do that. Again, the goal. That's what's most important. So hopefully this answers your question, my man. As far as a peak week, that's something that's pretty much reserved for doing like a photo shoot or a bodybuilding show, right? Where we're kind of priming the body to look its best for a single day. So if you're a physique athlete looking for that, absolutely. I've actually done videos on how to peak week. If you look up, Paul Ravella peak week, I've got a couple of videos on that topic. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Remember, Transformation Challenge ends this Sunday at midnight. I'll put the link in the description box to sign up, and let's go.